goes to showdown that you can do that. Obviously, if I see bet on a flop and they fold, I can't look up what hand they have until actually 24 hours after the hand was played. Um, and you can do that. That's to kind of help prevent against collusion and any sort of cheating and things like that. That you can look things up like that. But how I was able to do it. That hand did go to showdown. He called me, and so I can go look it up. And again, you can do that at any casino. If it gets down to showdown and they muck, you can ask to see their hand. Just most of the time it hits the muck, and if it gets mixed in with cards, it's kind of hard to figure it out. Um, but yeah, it's within the realm, within the allowable rules of poker. So, where in Bovada did you go to see? I can show you that. I'll show you both of what I was talking about, how to download it if. So it's right here. Or you can actually go right here. This is normally what I do. I click on this this icon right here. So I'll just look at the previous hand that I showed down here. So you click on that and this pops up. So this one didn't go to showdown. Therefore, I don't get to see the hands. Now, 24 hours I will. And that's what I use to really study the game. I'll write down hand after hand that I really want to find out what they had based on how they took a line and everything like that, to kind of learn what those lines mean to identify trends. So how does a set play? How does a flush draw play? How does top pair with top kicker play? Those are all important. Oh, and then also to download them after 24 hours, you just go to game transactions. I only play ring games, so you go select that, and you can only download them if 7 days hasn't already elapsed. So click download all, and then it'll take a little bit of time. I want to say it takes about 30 minutes or so. But you download them, and then I use a converter in order to convert them to a hand that my database will be able to interpret, because it can't just interpret normal Bovada hands for whatever reason. So if you want to know what that is, I talked about it in a previous broadcast, so if you want to know what that is, just email me. I'd be happy to share that with you. I don't want to make sure I'm not violating the terms of service of Twitch, because the last broadcast I had, for whatever reason, I was showing that whole process at the beginning of the broadcast, and they cut it out. But I think it's probably just because I wasn't actually playing yet, and Twitch is all about streaming while playing. So. Are we live? No, we're on a delay. How much have I won on Bovada? You never have to deposit. How much was your initial deposit worth? My initial deposit was on Bodog, when Bovada was Bodog, and that was, let's see, back in 06 or so. 05, 06. I started playing back in 03, right, like a month or two before Moneymaker, had his epic run in the main event, and then immediately started playing on Party Poker. Did well there. I mean, the fish there were, obviously that was the best, the best time ever to be playing poker. And then I also started playing Poker Stars a little bit at the time, and it was still pretty loose there too. But Party Poker was by far the loosest. Um, and then after Black Friday, I think is when I started playing Bodog, and because I heard the games were somewhat. Wow, that's pretty unlucky. The games were somewhat akin to the good old Party Poker days and everything like that. So my initial deposit, I think it was a couple $100, and I started playing. Back in the day, I used to play just sit and goes mainly, and so I just grind those out, and then eventually started playing cash games. I think I started at NL50, played that for a while, and then moved up from there. That was pretty unlucky. I guess I could have realized after the turn that it's highly possibly floated with like king queen or king whatever there, but I thought like some sort of mediumish pair wouldn't have given me credit, and then if he's feeling extra heroic, may have called again on the river there, but I think that was just mainly unlucky. Do I ever play any zone games? I did actually. I was at one point whenever zone rolled out, I was playing exclusively zone just to immerse myself in it and kind of figure out a strategy for it. The only problem is eventually I was playing NL200 zone. The traffic just died overnight. I played for a month or maybe two, and it just completely died. And so I started playing a little bit of NL100 with it, and it just wasn't my win rate. My hourly rate wasn't as much as compared to playing regular 6 max NL200, so just stuck with that. What games and what stakes you plan on Bovada? I only play 6 max NL200 right now, and I try to only play one stake at a time. For me personally, I can focus the most that way. There's been instances where I've dabbled. There's not 4 tables of NL200 open, so I would open a NL100 table, and it's just there's a couple nuances with it that either I'd forget or you know I don't know. It's easier to keep everything straight whenever you're playing the same stake. Like a set play may play slightly differently at one of the stakes than the other. Just even with bet sizing though too, I just want to make it easy on myself and I have to try to figure out the math for two different things. But how much have I won? Throughout my career, I've won well over 100K. This year to date, I've won over 20K. And again, that's just playing part time. But I don't have my entire career. I don't have in my database. I've played on a variety of different um, desktops and laptops, and just haven't transferred everything over to all of them. Try to add in a third table here. Sometimes I'll 3-bet here with fours against the blind. steal attempt. The reason for that is it is super tough to defend, and most likely I have the best hand, so I want to try to take it down. Sometimes I'll peel there too. Just he's not repping a whole lot. You know, it's almost like a jack, or I mean, I guess a 10 would still fire again on the turn like that, but not a whole lot would. Not a whole lot else would. So I'm inclined to think he's on a draw, or just has overs, or is just barreling just to barrel. So, but the reason why I did it with him is so far he hasn't c-bet a whole lot of flops, so give him a little bit of credit. I'll peel again here. This is kind of a dry flop, so it's possibly has some sort of draw, and you know, I have a decent amount. I have a decent hand with showdown value. C-bet of a little less than half pot, or I guess of the main pot, it's about half pot. I'd be more inclined to look him up if he bet bigger there. Just it looks a little bit more bluffy by doing that. It just kind of looked like he wanted to get paid. It's my first hand at the table too, I just realized, so less likely he's going to bluff somebody brand new for 3 streets. I think I'll squeeze here, even though I don't have much history. I like to try to make my first 3-bet a bluff, so just realized I don't think my HUD stats moved around here. Or it messed them up somehow, because you know I'm not down 450 on that table. I'm going to actually close them and then reopen them, because that's going to be very distracting if that's not. Okay, so I have to start over, but if I have the wrong stats, that's going to kind of do the opposite of what I need it to do. Okay, I checked behind when I hit the ace here, and now I'm going to try to bet it again and get looked up by a 10. Most likely get a 10. It looks real weak there when I do that, so I get paid off quite a bit on the river by doing that. Right table, I mean, it's either check and give up pretty much, or I can bet and then hope that he folds, and if I get called, then shut down. Top left, I mean, I'm not just going to completely give up. He min bet on the trip aces flop, and he got what he wanted. He wanted just a cheap turn, so that's something to keep in mind. Jack 8 suited, I will open from the cutoff. Queen 3 offsuit in the battle of the blinds. I think I was distracted. I normally would raise if I known he'd limp there. So I min bet and then immediately get check raised. So I will call and see what he does. At this point, I think he's pretty weak by checking the turn there. He doesn't have a 9 doing that normally. Trying to think if there's any use trying to blow him off another queen there. I don't think that there is. No. I think he still calls no matter what, and I'll definitely call with the 10 high kicker or worse and end up taking the pot. So betting had pretty much no value there. Pocket eights, there's really no use betting there if you let out light. Yeah, he did. I kind of forgot if I was a pre-flop aggressor, so that's why if I was and he let out on me, I would have raised, but I could not remember to be honest. So um, occasionally I'll write specific notes on an opponent. It's pretty hard to do while also talking through hand analysis, so I don't really do it on here. But if it's something I really want to remember and I don't think that I will, then I will. But I'm going to sit out. This table's just gotten too nitty here. It's interesting the guy raised 4x. Standard is normally 3x, so let's see what that means here. If I can. He only bets half pot. And checks. Looking real weak now. Got a third table going now. It's heads up for now against a short stack, so a little bit different dynamic, a couple different dynamics. So I'm in raise and immediately got shoved on. Sometimes they'll do that and then they'll just leave and they'll take their dollar or two profit. If he keeps doing it, I'll tighten up a little bit, but he can't. Actually want him to keep doing that because eventually, he'll just it'll work every time except for the last time kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, Bovada is anonymous. So yeah, as soon as they leave the table or you leave the table, you know, it's you're writing notes on player five. It's not, they won't that won't carry through the next time you play against them. You'll have no idea that you're playing against them. But um, during the session, it's still helpful. At least for me, I don't have the greatest memory, so if there's something that really stood out, they played a hand really differently, then I'll write down a note on them. So that way, in case they're taking a similar line, um, that I can read the hand appropriately. This guy's been shoving quite a bit. I'll do a little light 3-bet here with 7-10 suited on the button. Okay, I really hope he does it again here. Now I've got ace queen offsuit. Okay, I get called. I hit mid pair. This is, even though there's flush draw there and there's some straight draws, it's a check behind. If I get called there, I'm just absolutely hosed, and I want him to throw some bluffs in his range too. Not the greatest river card. He should be a little scared of it too, but if he bets here again, then I don't think I can call and expect to win at least. Alright, probably just a couple more hands and then I'll shut down the stream again. Got up to about 20 viewers tonight, which on a Sunday night is pretty darn good, I think. So thank you guys for coming out. And on this one here, I pretty much have to bet it just to know where I'm at and not give them complete rain just to take it away. But once I'm called, it's not a great thing, especially when that turn card hits. So again, if you're interested in coaching, contact me at urbansurferpoker@gmail.com, and come check out the broadcast on Twitch whenever I stream. I try to give a heads up there on my 2+2 thread, at least 10-20 minutes in advance. And then also check out my YouTube channel if you want to check out some of the previous broadcasts. I've got them on there. and this one will be uploaded there within a couple hours or so. And this will be the last hand here. I don't normally open this, but since it's the last hand, I'll play it. Flop a gut shot. It's a pretty safe board. This guy has been raising quite a bit. He's been showing a lot of aggression. I think I have a decent amount of equity here. I think he's doing it light some of the time, just given the frequency that he's doing it. But obviously, in this case, he hit something. It's always nice when you draw out, though. So, well, that's a good end to the broadcast. This is Urban Surfer, and thank you for tuning in, and until next time.